Ryan Little. Alright guys, it's about 9:40. I'm in my beauty room in front of my computer editing up some videos, and it's Monday evening, and you guys have no idea how busy I am. No idea. YouTube, teaching, programs, research, just everything, taking care of kids. Like, it's just, I've been so busy. But first, I would like to start off by thanking those of you who have commented about the bulletproof coffee thing. I have tried butter and coconut oil together, and I had the weirdest like diarrhea from it, and I think it just was because it was the first time I have done it really in a long time. And not to mention that I might have put too much coconut oil. It just like went right through me. So I had to be very careful. But some of you have suggested the type of butter that I could use that's grass-fed and unsalted. And I want to thank you guys for telling me that. Just because I do videos for you guys, just keep in mind that I do take in the information and the suggestions that you guys give me. I learn from you just as much as you're probably learning from me. So I want you guys to know that I thank you so much for supporting me and watching me, but also for commenting, making suggestions, and like, girl, try it out. You never know. You can't say this until you tried that. And I really do appreciate that so much. So now that that's out the way, let's talk about why you shouldn't eat breakfast. I know that the title is almost like a clickbait, but I'm going to explain to you the reasons why, and then you let me know how you get it or if you understand what I mean by it. Two things you need to understand: what breakfast means and what intermittent fasting is. What is intermittent fasting? In the YouTube community, in the fitness industry, they consider intermittent fasting as you're skipping a meal. And when you're skipping that meal, you push your first meal to a particular time, and then you start either a 6 or an 8 hour window of feeding or getting all of your meals in. It doesn't mean that you're going to be eating less. It means you're eating all of your caloric intake that you need on a daily basis within a feeding window. So it could be 6 to 8 hours, or you might just eat all of your calories in 2 meals, all your calories in 3 meals, or all of your calories in 1. There's so many different feeding windows out there, and my program shows the most common ones and the ones that are attainable if you are looking to stick with something you can do every day, or something that you can kind of alternate back and forth with. So that's really what intermittent fasting is that you're pushing your first meal back at a certain time and keeping your fasted state, which sleeping during that time is considered you're in a fasted state because you're not taking in any food, and food is energy. So that's what intermittent fasting is. What is breakfast? In the fitness industry, they say that you are skipping breakfast. Here's the thing. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. It just is. Breakfast means that you are breaking your fast. So it is considered the first meal of the day, and that's why it's considered the most important meal of the day, because depending on what you're eating, when you're eating it, and why, will make it important for you, or it would cause your results or your goals that you're looking for to go in the opposite direction. So understand what breakfast means. You're not skipping breakfast, you're just pushing your breakfast at a particular time. For me, I start my breakfast at 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock p.m., sometimes 2 o'clock, and then I'll eat all the way up until 8 or until 10. So you guys get the idea that I do a 16-8. That's what it is. So my 8-hour feeding window and 16 fasted, at least about 7 to 8 hours of that I'm asleep. So that's what breakfast means. Let's just put this in simple terms. Food is energy. And when you eat food, no matter what time of day, when, or why, you will either store it as fat or you will store it as energy for your full day. You want your energy to go to the right places. You don't want to store it as fat, but you do want it to have stored as glycogen into your muscles and going, to help building your body and giving you the energy that you need to finish your day. So when you eat, your insulin is spiked. Insulin is considered to be a fat storing hormone, or it is the hormone that tells your body stop burning fat. It works for you and it works against you depending on how or when you eat. For me, I eat at 12 or maybe 2 o'clock. I try to do any of my training, whether it's HIIT, cardio, weight training, at least about an hour or so before I'm ready to eat. So what happens is, although my insulin will spike, that food will not be stored as fat. It will be stored as energy or glycogen for my muscles and for my energy for the rest of my day. So now that food is being used for what it's supposed to, instead of being stored in an area that I don't want it to. Now, me waiting to eat that late and doing exercise is, for me, it personally works for me. Some people can't do that. Some people might have to have a snack or something before they train. But for me, it's okay with me. I can do it. On some days, there are some days where I notice that I'm hungry, and I suggest that you do not ignore your hunger pains. But if I'm hungry, I'm gonna have a little snack, then I'm gonna train, and then I'll have the meal that I need for my body to go on with the rest of my day. So that's something. When you don't eat for a long period of time, when you're in a fasted state, you're not taking in energy. So now your body is being allowed to go into your stored energy, which for most of us, it would be your glycogen first, and then your muscle, and then your fat. Let's say that again. It would be your glycogen first, and then your fat stores. Usually, if you've already haven't been eating for an 8-hour window during your sleep, probably your glycogen is probably pretty much zapped out. So if you wait just a little bit longer, you are going right into your stored fat cells. I hope this makes so much sense to you. This is why I say intermittent fasting works, because it gives you enough time for your body to go into your stored fat so you can burn that off. Do some training or have a light meal if you want to before your major breakfast or your major meal, so that that energy can be used for what you need it to and not being stored as fat. I hope that was helpful. So if you guys have not checked out my website, I do have my intermittent fasting and clean eating plan on my website. So if you're interested, you can go and check it out. It has the different meal plans in intermittent fasting, how much you could eat, and some meal ideas for those of you who are not sure what you mean by, or what I mean, or what the fitness industry or health industry means by clean eating. No, I am not saying that you have to eat clean 100% of the time, because that's just not a realistic way of thinking or eating or living. But you want to make sure that you understand what your macronutrients are, which that's described into the program, and how much you need based on which feeding style of intermittent fasting you want to do, whether you want to do one type or play around with certain days and have one day where you're only eating 3 meals, one day you're only eating 1 meal, or you do a full day fasted. It's totally up to you. I would suggest you try what works for you. Make sure you're paying attention to your body. See the response that your body gives you, your not just your emotions, but more so your energy levels, and see what it does for you. Try these things out. There's nothing wrong with treating yourself like a science experiment, because how else are you going to know what's going to work for you? So no, I didn't do intermittent fasting before. To start my weight loss, I was eating 6 meals a day, and It wasn't like in the feeding window. It was just, that's just how I was eating every 2.5 hours, and it worked for me. So it was still different from the diet that I had before, which was freaking crappy. But it's not like you can't lose weight eating 6 meals a day throughout the whole day whenever you want to. I would just suggest that you only eat when you're hungry, and it's always best to eat carbohydrates, no matter what kind of carbohydrates they are. If it's a donut or cookie, eat it closer to your training time. It's a little bit better to do it that way. That's just one little tip. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you learned something new. I'm going to be doing this more often so that I can get more videos out to you guys, because these are a little bit easier because I'm so busy. So it's not so easy for me to film all of this different stuff. And I'm working on that weight training program, the home weight training program. Please be patient with me. I'm doing a lot of work on that, a lot of research, and trying to, get everybody's, a balance when it comes to it, so that everybody can do it, not just specific people. So I hope this helps. Leave your questions and comments down below. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you're following me on all social media, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.